Okay, I'm here in a coffee bar in the middle of Aalborg. I'm arranged to meet a guy here. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. The feeling it's this man over here. Just a second. Hello.
You, Simon?
Yeah, Simon. Yeah. Hi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hi. How you doing?
That's from the interview. That's
right.
That's the same Simon I'm talking about.
That's the same Simon. Yeah, you must be my South African.
Yeah, that's right.
Super. Excellent. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Sit down. Let's have a cup of coffee and have a chat. Growing up in South Africa under apartheid, which was obviously normal for you.
I grew up. I was a teenager in the 80s.
Right.
So at the end of the 80s, when I was in my early 20s, the country started changing. I mean, are we talking from white to black?
Right.
And in the end of the 80s, there was obviously a lot of uproar and everything like that. And there was apartheid means, white is separate from blacks. But from an economic point of view, it wasn't really feasible. It was a bit difficult to keep that in shape. And the laws was getting so twisted, you didn't know what to do it. But for instance, I was in a white-only school.
Right.
But I was also in an Afrikaans school, because Afrikaans and English, not that I didn't mix, it's just there was a language barrier, not a language barrier, but I mean,
there were differences.
It was, you got taught in your language that suits your best.
Right.
Now that school I used to go to, this is the 20 years ago, it's all black and white and all mixed.
Oh, it's a mixed. So
it's mixed in all different languages as well.
Yeah.
You must remember there's 11 official languages in South Africa.
11.
There's more languages, but there's 11 is official.
Okay.
So they have to really...
And in order to get along, how many languages do you really need to master?
No, English is like... You should understand English everywhere, but because the country is so big, it's a bit...
Yeah.
It's more region.
Right, so you've got...
So Western
English
Cape, you'll speak more Afrikaans.
Right.
Where in the real rural areas, it's more Afrikaans, but like in the suburb, or more in the east of the country, it's more English.
Right.
So you always... The communities also go, the suburbs would go more Afrikaans or English.
Yeah. You were a tour guide in
before I came to Denmark.
Before you came to Denmark, yeah. Tour guide in South Africa. I assume this is out in the animals.
It's in South Africa and in more southern Africa. Now the three countries. Namibia was neighbor country. Zimbabwe, Botswana also neighbor. But you're talking now huge distances.
Right.
Where a normal trip for me, one of the typical ones, was 19 days, and we used to do 5,500 kilometers. And then you go into the safari park, and that would be more or less the size of Jutland.
So
that's
one
the Kruger one, the big one in South Africa, is the size of Jutland. And then you get like 10,000 elephants there, 2,000 lions, around that statistics.
They have safari parks in Denmark too.
Yeah, but it's a Mickey Mouse compared to... say 3 elephants and maybe, and you all see 3.
You see all 3 of them, yeah.
In the safari park, even if there's 10,000, you can drive a day and not see one elephant there.
Yeah, such a vast area. Now, bringing me on to what I've read in the papers here of the government over there cutting the rhino's horn off. In order to protect
the rhino poaching.
Rhino poachers, yeah. So
it's a topical European solution. It's a great idea, but the problem is the poachers still run down this rhino.
Yeah, apparently they're killing even more.
They kill them because what happens then? They catch the rhino or they see it, and then the horn is cut off, so there's no profit in them. So they don't want to waste another day looking for one and get there. So what they do, they just kill that one, so they don't waste the time next time.
So they'll kill the elephant out of the
they kill the rhino anyway, because
right.
It's just a waste of resources.
Okay, yeah. I have read another statistic that elephants eat quite a bit of food.
I can't remember now. I used to know all these things. I think it's 200 kilos a day they eat.
200 kilos a day. So occasionally, elephant will get into crops.
That's not so much in South Africa. That's more in, you get a country called Botswana that's just north of South Africa, and there they've got a park with 80,000 elephants.
80,000 elephants.
Yeah. That's roaming free. There's no fences around because it's Botswana's got only 1.5 million people, so it's a bit different than 80,000 elephants. And the problem now, you get a sugar farmer, with cane sugar, not the ones you get in Europe.
Right, yeah.
And these elephants were just wandering at night and go into the cane farm and probably destroy his whole crop.
His entire crop, yeah. So the state then comes in and supplements. Nothing at all.
Why should the state do anything? This guy is his own risk.
So-
This is not nice Europe where the EU supports the whole farming community.
So there is absolutely nothing to do with
There's
that.
nothing.
So then, of course, the farmer goes out and starts shooting elephants, and then...
And then you've got the problem of the uproar, saving the elephants, all that kind of
That's
stuff.
right.
I mean, it's a political ball game, but I mean, there's no solution. With nature, it's a bit of a different kind.
We live in a renewable world here. I mean, everything here is buy and throw away. Obviously not the same in Africa, I can imagine.
No, the difference, this is a funny thing, because over here everybody's living in a throwaway society. I mean, you want the best the new phone, the new clothes, everything like that.
Right.
Where in Africa it's more like you use it till it falls apart, or otherwise you fix it. Where the culture in Denmark is more or less you don't fix it, you buy new ones.
Yeah.
Which I can understand because everything has cost more you pay more to fix it than to buy the new
Yeah.
one.
I asked my students at school whether what they wanted for their birthday. So I went around to each of them. Some wanted clothes, some wanted a new phone, and then I asked, "But do you not have clothes?" Yes. Do you not have a phone? Oh, yeah. Everyone had everything that they were asking for. What do you want for birthday?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really what I want; it's what you need. And it's like I want a lot of things, but I mean, I don't really need a lot of things. So that's always birthdays is always a problem with me, and Christmas as well, because I always ask, what do I want? It's like, yeah, but that's not. I don't need anything, so it's always difficult for me to go that way.
Right.
And I think it's the problem with here is probably why life is so frustrating here, because they've got everything they need. They don't know what they want.
Culture differences. I mean, what have you found since you came to Denmark? There must be some.
There's quite a thing that's still, I won't say still bugs me, but what's quite interesting, I'm coming from quite a religious background, right? A more church-going country, can you say? More respect for religion and no matter what. Where in Denmark it's a bit the opposite. Although everybody belongs to the Folkekirke, but they don't talk about Christianity. I mean, most Danes that I ask for, they don't even know the definition of a Christian.
Right.
But then the opposite, they talk about sex very openly, about gays and lesbians. You know, they will easily say my brother's a gay or whatever.
And
that's
not
the
done
opposite.
Okay, that's not a done thing in
No,
Africa.
that's a very bit of a taboo.
Right.
Of course, you'll find out that your friend is gay, but he won't. He won't put it on the billboards like over here.
Right. Okay.
But-
And obviously, talk of sexuality here is very
It's
open.
very,
indeed.
very open. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not in.
It's not so open, but
No.
on the other hand, like I said, religion is very closed here, where it's very something
very
to be.
So
You
you
believe
would-
in something, you should
You would
talk
have a
about
general
it.
conversation with
Oh,
someone
yeah.
and say, "Oh, I'm
Very
off to church,"
discuss
or-
discuss the church or difference in
discuss-
religion or something
Right,
like
okay.
that. I mean, the only time you hear is when it's Mohammedaning or
Yeah.
the threat of Islam. But
Or confirmations, and I mean, there's
obviously that's
confirmation,
the big parties is the
baptism and funerals is the only thing they really use the church for. Well, thank you very much, Ruad, is it? For this chat. I'll let you know by mail if I get any feedback about it. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, I would hope this will help.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
And
very
thanks
much.
for the coffee, appreciate it.
No problem.
And enjoy the winter.
You too.
Cheers.
Bye.